Jim.
Hey.
I know you're not on duty. I know you had mentioned that, but you're the sergeant of Batchewana First Nation.
Yes,
Police.
I am. Yep.
So, and you have another officer beside you. I forget what his name is.
Brian.
Brian. And you are from?
I'm OPP PLT.
Okay. So, Jim, we would like to present this little letter to you guys. If you don't want to take it, could you call an officer here?
I'll take it from you, Brendan. Yeah.
Would you mind? Would you mind coming over?
Wow, Rich, not that bad, everybody.
So, this is our letter from Dell. Helped us put it together, and if you guys don't know who Dell is, do you know who Dell is?
We just met Bill.
Yeah. So Dell is one of our Grand Chiefs. He's one of our Jumas. He's one of our leaders, and at the end of the day, he's helping us identify our rights as Anishinaabe people. And it's something that I've learned over the past little while, that enforcement's not going to teach us. They're not going to teach us. I mean, you know, the way I feel about it is, you know, a lot of us here are dispensary owners,
Right.
and the way it's going right now is we're being threatened by being charged for trafficking. I have no criminal record, nor do I want to get in trouble. I've been straightforward. I've called our chief. You know, we've all taken the due diligence to inform our people what's going on, and unfortunately, you know, we are continuously being threatened, and also with the fear of being charged. I mean, I've been just given a letter. I don't know if you're aware, Jim, but I was given a letter through Trombley Hall stating that I could be charged for trespassing for wanting to build the community garden that I'm working on, which is to me is nonsense. And at the end of the day, I understand that there's protocols and procedures, but this system that we have on First Nations communities is a very racist system. It doesn't let us be Anishinaabe. It's an arm from the minister, and you know, I'm Anishinaabe. I'm protected under the Constitution, and I have all rights to stand up for that Constitution. And that's a part of our meeting today. And we have elders still that are with us today that have fought for that right so that we can stand up. And you know, Jim, miigwech for being here. You know, I'm very, very thankful that you are here. And you know, at the end of the day, I just couldn't be more thankful. And I don't know if you had read the letter. Maybe I'm not the best at reading, but do you think we could get somebody to read this letter out loud for us?
Oh.
Would you? Yes.
Okay.
And then that way there, you could hear everything that we're talking about. And at the end of the day, we want to be left alone. We want to be left alone, and we don't want to be harassed anymore. We don't want to be bothered. We don't want these letters coming out. You know, this is they can come and
no fear.
yeah. The leadership can actually come and see us, and we have a sacred fire going 18 days today, and we still haven't had leadership up there, which is an insult to everything that we know as Anishinaabe people. We also have protocols as traditional people, and we light that fire, and we're asking our chief and council to come out there and visit us and to see. There's a lot of assumptions, and the assumptions need to go. That's ridiculous. These assumptions that are being spread out there. And if they don't visit, they're not going to know.
Right.
If they don't visit, they're not going to know.
Okay. To Batchewana First Nation Police. We have gathered here today at your station in Batchewana First Nation in the context of recent letters sent by Chief and Council threatening police action in response to community members operating medicinal cannabis dispensaries. We are here today to inform you that in keeping with our customs and conventions as Anishinaabe people, we have met and decided to exert our own jurisdiction over the cannabis plant in our territory in accordance with our historical governance structures and the policies of our ancestors. We also wish to remind you that our territory is not a part of Ontario. We also wish to remind you that our territory is not a part of the province of Ontario, and that sections 35 and 25 of the Canadian Constitution exempt our cannabis dispensaries from regulation by the Cannabis Act. Similarly, as indicated by the Indian Act and Indian Act Band Councils, do not have authority or jurisdiction to regulate cannabis on our territory or anywhere else. Our cannabis dispensaries are providing an essential medical service to our people, and they are organized and self-regulating so that our own people can determine our own health and safety and security protocols for this medicine in accordance with our Aboriginal and treaty rights. In the defense of our constitutionally protected rights, we are represented by Grand Chief Del Riley, the former president of the National Indian Brotherhood and the author of sections 25 and 35 of the Canadian Constitution. Grand Chief Riley is prepared to meet with you and discuss an appropriate protocol to address any concerns which you may have regarding cannabis on our territory. We are especially interested in having you explain how you think you have legal authority to impose provincial laws on our territory without any constitutional right to do so. And we are concerned that your actions perpetuate colonial racist attitudes towards Indigenous people. We remind you that your presence in our territory for the enforcement of the Cannabis Act is unnecessary, unwelcome, and outside of your jurisdiction. Our rights are constitutionally protected, and we have every right to protect the Constitution of Canada.
Thank you.
Bill, would you like to share a few words?
Well, we've lived in this racist, under this racist apartheid law of Canada since 1876. I served 5 years in a residential school where I received the most horrific treatment any human being can possibly endure. And we want this racism to end. We want our Caucasoid immigrants who are now running the country to back off the racism. We can fix everything, but we'll have to work together. And in Ontario, and I'm just saying it for your benefit, your people, you Caucasoid immigrants, have 4 to 6% unemployment. But you claim Ontario, we have 40 to 80% on provincial government's watch. This has got to end. This racism's got to end. We got to develop our own economy. We can't do it under John A. Macdonald's racist Indian Act. And I think it's going to be coming to an end all over Canada. The same thing's happening all over the place. But I think the best thing is we can sit down, we can figure this out. We can figure out all the legal aspects of it so that you're not, I was looking at the whole legal aspect of it. You have to be invited in by an individual to come onto Indian Reserve. Chief and council are not Indians. So they're just a corporate body that can be sued or be sued. And so there's a lot of legal, technical problems associated with anything you do. And but the best thing is to sit down and try to work it out. Because I think the racism is going to end one way or another. And we've had enough of it. And that's about all I can say.
Yeah. Good.
You want to respond on any?
Yeah, I'll respond there just quickly. I wasn't invited to this forum. I found out through a friend. I live in Batchewana, which is north of the Sioux. My history for our First Nations, for those that don't know, is the successful completion of our treaty right to commercial fish. I was charged, went through that system, and you talk about racism. I first-handly suffered that. I took the OPP and Ontario government to the Human Rights Tribunal so that the First Nations officers that serve our people in our communities be treated equal. We won that. So we know all about racism, suppression, all that stuff, systemic racism that we had to fight against. We struck up a committee in Ontario for other First Nations within the OFNPA, Ontario First Nations Policing Agreement. That's what we did. And we fought that on our own. So we were successful. I've been on both sides of this. I've been on roadblocks, been charged, blocked in M&R, been on the law side, learned the law, what's applicable, and you're absolutely right, where people have to sit at a round table and talk about it. Police can facilitate that. We can, if I can finish, we can do that as Anishinaabe people, born and raised. Our lineage goes right back to the beginning of time. That's where I come from. And that's what I offer, is to sit down with everybody so our community can heal together and stay together, work together, whatever the issues are. Like Brendan said, going down to the court system, does it work? We know how it works. We know the shortfalls. It's not the answer. So that I offer to everybody. Sit down, talk about it, come to an arrangement. We're all Anishinaabe. My father was residential school. We know about that stuff. So why are we fighting? Why now First Nations fighting when there's a whole world out there that want to fight us? Doesn't make sense to me. That's why I came in today, to come and listen and learn. I didn't prepare a speech. I wasn't prepared for any of this. That's off the top of my head. So I wish you luck, but we will maintain safety for everybody. If somebody came here and didn't agree with you and started fighting with everybody, causing a ruckus, that's where we come in, keep the peace, protest, absolutely, get your voice out there. That's what we're about. We're not picking sides. You know, we're not picking sides. I can't pick sides. You know, I want a peaceful resolve so we all get together. That's what I want.
I think if we examine,
Yep, Chimigwich, and thanks for your time, guys.
Thanks, Jim.
let's examine the legal aspects very closely.
I'm no lawyer.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not a lawyer. They teach me this much as a copper, so I can't discuss legalities. So
What is the OPP's position in regards to raids on Indigenous territories?
We're here to enhance the safety of this gathering here today and support the people to have their voice heard.
Right, but you also raided in Oneida on June 4th,
I'm unfamiliar with the
2020.
details of that, but like I said, we're here to enhance the safety of this gathering here today.
And what's your name?
My name's Constable Brian Speakman. I'm with the OPP PLT team. That's Provincial Liaison Team.
And can you explain your jurisdiction on Indigenous reserves, how that works?
We're here to enhance the safety of the communities and support that, and obviously being here today to enhance the safety of this gathering.
So I don't know if you guys have noticed either, but if you look around at this community and we talk about communities arguing and fighting, nobody was arguing or fighting. Everybody that's here is a very diverse people. A lot of people that haven't been together in 30 years. I watched a farm up there bring people together that you'd never imagine that would be in the same vicinity. You know, so the fighting is not coming from the people. We're not fighting. We're not trying to cause a war. We're looking for answers, and I believe that Chief and Council don't have those answers. It's us. It's our people that have the answers for that. And Chief and Council is willing to take that right away from us. That's how I feel about it. I'm here today to stand up for that. I'm here to say no. We can do what we need to do. You know, knowing that. Seeing you guys sit over there once, I thought the car was going to try to take off. I didn't know you were sitting there, Jim, and I thought, well, why are they just sitting there watching us?
oh,
You know?
we were waiting. You guys were a little late.
Running on Indian time.
Karen Bell is too busy driving around here instead of meeting us in Garden River.
Yeah.
But I would say this, I'll say this, and this could be for the record, is I don't give OPP any rights to come onto the reserve. As a First Nations individual, I don't give OPP any rights to come and take our stuff. You know, that needs to stop. And I agree with Jim, we need to sit down, we need to talk. We have a sacred fire burning, we lit that sacred fire, we've gotten a hold of Chief and Council, we've asked them to come. Out of all Chief and Council, we had one of them show up. They talk about protocols. Us too, as traditional people, as Ojibwe people, we also have protocols. And it's their duty to come and gather around that fire so that we're not sitting there bickering. You know, you guys went through it with the fishing. You know, and here we are again, the same system. It's
11 years took us.
It's a very racist system, you know, and I could say this, that if you know, Chief and Council want to come and see what we do and what we've put together, the ranch up there at 15D, we have full coverage insurance for all cannabis. Batchewana First Nations didn't want to issue any license. We got a license from Ontario, the province of Ontario, to run. We also got a license from our elder Dell, protected under sections 25 and 35. But yet we're still being threatened. Can't have the arms of the laws that don't pertain in any which way to our people. Jim talks about safety. Yes. How many of us here at this gathering want to see harm come to people? Nobody here. So you know, we've been harmed by marijuana.
Well, with that, Brendan, Jim McGwitch,
Yep.
you guys, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I got a
Good,
question.
man.
Good.
Good.
I got a question.
See you later, guys.
I got a question. Hey, Mr. OPP. As a representative of the OPP, what is your personal feelings about this?
Yeah. Well, you know what? At this point in time, personal feelings beyond. Like I said, we're here to enhance. This gathering here and the discussions gives us an understanding and more of an understanding of your position.
That's a step forward.
And that's a huge step forward for us. And we really appreciate it that you share that with us.
Yep. Nobody wants to
Thank
fight,
you.
man.
Another question. So should we expect the same kind
Same
of
Jim.
animosity?
Here, buddy.
I'm not gonna hug you.
If we get raided here?
Yeah.
COVID.
You know what? I'm not familiar with what
Old DG.
I can't speak to
Pointing
that.
weapons,
But like I said, we're here to enhance community safety and support you people in your voice.
What do you mean, you people?
Time to get my new
Miigwech.
Well, you said it right. That's a word from the Canadians.
We good, guys? OPP? Hey, guys. We good, Jim? Yeah. We good, guys?
Thanks, Jim.